Parques Reunidos is an international theme park chain that operates 18 different amusement parks in 3 different continents. Their park portfolio has a wide range of parks, ranging from major thrill parks to family parks and everything in between. And I've had the opportunity to visit about 2/3 of these parks, so today I want to count down the best amusement parks I have visited in the entire Parques Reunidos chain. And before I get to the list, I want to address one of the most common criticisms of the Parques Reunidos chain, the operations. In general, most of these parks suffer from bad operations, ranging from delayed openings to one-train operations, even on the busiest of days. But in general, I find the staff operating the rides to be friendly and efficient. They just aren't dealt the best hand every day. And with that, starting off this list is number 12 with Idlewild in Ligonier, Pennsylvania. Idlewild is a children's park, most well known for its storybook forest. And this is a really cool walkthrough section. It retells many of my favorite childhood stories. As for the amusement park side, I left disappointed. Roller Coaster was closed following an incident, and many of the flat rides ran woefully short cycles. And the 2 rides I enjoyed most had nearly hour waits in the Wild Mouse and Paul Bunyan's Log and Toboggan. Both rides ran just 2 vehicles and wouldn't dispatch the next one until the prior one returned to the station. This is the textbook example of the operations at a Parques Reunidos park completely holding it back. Number 11 is Dutch Wonderland in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. This children's park is one of the few parks in the chain where I haven't encountered delayed openings, so kudos to Dutch Wonderland. This is a really well landscaped park and the perfect children's park since most rides are child friendly and equally as accommodating to adults. It just doesn't have any real thrill rides to fill a day for myself. That being said, Merlin's Mayhem and Kingdom Coaster are solid family rides, and the park is surprisingly home to a set of loose bumper cars, albeit toned down ones. Number 10, Attractiepark Slagharen in Slagharen, Netherlands. This Western themed amusement park is quite charming, but it's killed by the operations. I could count on one hand how many rides actually opened with the park. But on the bright side, this park operated every single attraction in a heavy downpour once the rides did open. And there were 2 standout attractions in Gold Rush, the intense Gerstlauer Infinity Coaster, and the Wild West Adventure, a really well done dark ride. Number 9, Storyland in Glen, New Hampshire. Primarily a children's park, Storyland is a beautiful place. This park is extremely well landscaped, and it has much better theming than you'd expect from such a small park. It really is charming. Most of the rides here are geared for children to experience with adults, but there are some rides that keep me coming back. The 2 I want to mention are Dr. Geyser's Remarkable Raft Ride, a really unique river rapids ride that replaces the rapids with water sprayers along the course, and Rorosaurus, the junior Gravity Group wooden coaster that is a serious airtime machine. Number 8, Parque de Atracciones Madrid in Madrid, Spain. This is one of the best landscape parks I've ever visited. The gardens on the main midway are absolutely stunning, and the other areas of the park branching away from those gardens are extremely well shaded. And this park has some unique coasters in Tarantula, the Mauer Spinner focusing on big drops rather than turns, Tornado, a rare intimate inverted coaster, and Abismo, the extended Mauer Skyloop. But this park is ruined by some of the worst operations I have encountered at any park. You either need to visit on a busy day where the one-train operations result in long lines, or visit on a quiet day when you're stuck waiting on the ride platform for the full train needed to actually dispatch the roller coasters. Number 7, Bobbejaanland in Belgium. This eccentric theme park has some really interesting attractions. From a coaster perspective, the headliners are the 2 Gerstlauer creations. The first is Fury, an infinity coaster that allows riders to vote whether to experience it forwards or backwards, and this coaster has some really cool elements. The other is Typhoon, one of the earliest Gerstlauer Eurofighters. The other coasters are less than stellar, but the park makes up for it with some quirky dark rides in Indiana River and the El Paso Special. Indiana River is a soaking indoor log flume with some wonderful theming, and the El Paso Special just may be the most politically incorrect ride in the world. It's a shooting dark ride where you shoot actual people. But this park does have a major flaw, and that is that their best rides do not have the best capacities, so beware visiting this park on a busy day. Number 6. Movie Park Germany in Bottrop, Germany. This park is one of the best themed parks in the Parques Reunidos chain. The park spared no expense theming their lands, their coasters, their dark rides, and even their water rides. From a coaster perspective, people are probably most familiar with Movie Park for how bad MP Express and Bandit are. But the two best coasters are Star Trek Operation Enterprise, a really solid mock launcher with a good combination of hang time and airtime, and Van Helsing's Factory, an indoor coaster that is a hybrid dark ride and Wild Mouse. However, the water rides are what stood out most for me. Excalibur and Area 51 are two of the best themed water rides in the world and would not feel out of place at a Disney park. And I also love their stand-up drop tower and high fall. But this park is among the most egregious in the train for bad operations. Rides open late, close early, and are run extremely inefficiently. Number 5. Lake Compounce in Bristol, Connecticut. The oldest amusement park in the United States is a charming family park anchored by a world-class wooden coaster in Boulder Dash. This CCI wooden coaster is one of my favorite rides anywhere, especially at night. The frenetic blitz of airtime hills and laterals keeps me coming back to this park year after year. The park does also have some supporting rides like Phobia Fear, the premier ride Skyrocket 2, Thunder River Raft Ride, a soaking river rapids ride, Ghost Hunt, a recently renovated shooting dark ride, and two fun S&S flats in Thunder and Lightning and Downtime. And the park is also special for its Haunted Graveyard Halloween event that is home to an hour-long haunt. This park doesn't have the best operations, but Boulder Dash and its charm are why it places so highly. Number 4. Parque Warner Madrid in Madrid, Spain. This former Six Flags park really surprised me with its level of theming. Every single land looked great. But in terms of coasters, I was let down. Superman looked like it should be one of the best floorless coasters in the world, but it had lackluster inversions. And Coaster Express is the worst coaster I have ever ridden. I thought the best coaster was the Batman the Ride clone. The standout attraction for me though was Rio Bravo, one of the best log flumes I've ever ridden. This flume had some terrifying drops and decent theming along the course. And the park also had a wonderful river rapids ride themed to the Looney Tunes and a Scooby-Doo shooting dark ride. If this park got a standout coaster, psst, RMC, please do something at Coaster Express, it would be perfect. Number 3. Mirabolandia in Savio, Italy. This pirate-themed amusement park is anchored by two world-class coasters in iSpeed, the Intamin Blitz coaster, and Katoon, one of the best B&M inverts. None of the park's other attractions really stood out in my opinion, so I spent most of my time on iSpeed and Katoon. But the park does have a nice combination of landscaping and theming to support those big rides. And while the coasters were running one train, dispatches were very fast. Number 2. Motion Gate Dubai in the UAE. Motion Gate is comparable to Universal Studios in terms of the overall park atmosphere and ride collection. The park is dominated by the DreamWorks indoor section, which has elaborately themed areas to Shrek, How to Train Your Dragon, Madagascar, and Kung Fu Panda. And you'll find a ton of dark rides at this park, with my favorites being Hotel Transylvania and Dragon Gliders, the latter of which is an inverted Mach-powered coaster hybrid dark ride. From a coaster perspective, Capital Bullet Train and Madagascar Mad Pursuit are solid rides. Capital Bullet Train has a crappy launch, but I love everything else about its layout. And Madagascar Mad Pursuit has a forceful launch and a strong first half before petering out. I think this is the chain's best themed park and arguably the best run. It just can't match the ride collection of number 1. And number 1 is Kennywood in West Mifflin, Pennsylvania. Kennywood is notorious for terrible operations, but they've never been enough to spoil my day. Maybe that's because I know to expect one-train operations, delayed openings, and early closures. But I just love this park's charm and ride collection too much to hate it. I visited before Steel Curtain opened, but I absolutely love their wooden coaster collection, Skyrocket, and Phantom's Revenge. The latter is one of the best hypercoasters in the entire world thanks to the famous second drop into the ravine and intense airtime you can experience in full with the minimalistic restraint system. But beyond the coasters, you have a really well-rounded ride lineup with great water rides, great dark rides, and rare flat rides. This diverse ride collection is why Kennywood places atop this list. What are your favorite Parques Reunidos parks, or thoughts on any of the parks mentioned on this list? I would love to hear your comments down below. Thank you for listening, and subscribe for more amusement park videos here at Canopy Coaster.